Hey, what's up, everybody? It's TJ today with the New Standard and Strategic Real Estate Experts. Today we're going to talk about, should my first home purchase be an investment property? So, quick answer again, maybe. While I believe it should be or could be, you have to see if it's right for you. One, if you look at real estate over the long term, it's obviously a great investment. And a lot of not property managers, but investment bankers, stuff like that, actually use real estate to hedge themselves against the stock market. So there's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of people have created a lot of wealth for themselves when looking at buying real estate, but really, is your first purchase, is it good to do that? So actually, a lot more millennials now are making that first purchase, whether it's a beach community, a condo, something like that, and they're doing that VRBO, or they're buying half duplexes and maybe living in one side and renting out the other. So a first purchase as an investment can be a great asset. And the younger you start buying real estate, obviously the better, because you just have time on your side. But it doesn't mean it's always right. And it doesn't mean that it's the way to riches, because if you make some bad mistakes, buy in the wrong area, buy maybe a condo that the building is being developed and then they don't sell out and then all the prices drop out on them. There's a lot of things you have to factor in and take into account when you're looking at buying an investment property. So first, we always want to make sure we're looking at the location, right? Because that's important. It's important because you also have to have an exit strategy. And if you're in a bad location or a location that's declining versus increasing and might turn, it's going to determine how hard or how easy it is to get rid of. The other thing you have to look at is a single family home is going to be easier to get rid of than a duplex. And a duplex easier than a 4-unit, and so on. So if you own a 32-unit apartment building or an 8-unit apartment building, that's going to be harder to sell than less units. So you're a little less liquid with the more units you buy in one building. Now, personal preference, a single-family home is going to give you the least amount of return, but you have to look at the numbers overall and what makes sense for you to start out, right? Because if you're not going to live in the property, you have to finance it differently than if you are. The other thing you could potentially do is buy a duplex, 4-unit, 8-unit, and live in one side, which is going to give you better interest rates than if you buy it as an investment property, plus you can put less money down. So the other thing you need to take into account and look at when we're thinking about investment properties is, you're going to put the down payment down, but then you need to make sure you're putting the right tenants in it so that you don't have issues going down the road. Because I've ran into people, and I believe in investment property, and they're like, oh, it's horrible. They're going to call you at midnight and want you to fix a toilet. Well, one, that's never happened. Two, the worst thing that's happened to me since doing this is somebody called me Christmas Eve and their furnace had taken a crap, and I called the furnace people and they went out and fixed it. So a couple phone calls. So yes, there can be headaches with it, but there can be some great long-term returns from it, but you really need to vet out who you're putting in there. So don't just rent to anybody if you're thinking about it. So again, the other things you want to take into account is, what is my exit strategy? You have to have an exit strategy. While it's a long-term play for me, there are people that buy stuff and they plan on flipping it and trading it up to other things. And the fact is, you probably won't own it your whole life. So if it's going to be something that's sat on the market a long time and you came along and bought it, what about when you go to sell it? Is it going to be easy to get rid of? Or is it going to be hard? So you have to look at all these different things, but the biggest thing you need to know is your numbers. Everyone has different formulas for if a property is a good investment or not good. You need to know your numbers on what you're paying, what you're going to get in rent, and then what you're going to get for that return, and then what the vacancy factor is in that area. So look, if you want to know more about buying investment property, and if it makes sense for you or it's something you're just kind of thinking about, you want to learn more about, I love talking about it. So again, I don't care where you are. You can reach out to us, but always check out knowbeforeyoubuy.realestate.com. You can actually reach out to us on that, or you can call or text me, 608-576-0044. Email me, tj@sreehelp.com. Don't forget to raise your standards, and we'll talk to you soon.